We used to meet Saturdays at 11. 2, 3, 4 times in a month. Mostly it ended badly. Mostly I left gladly. She had her own things to figure out. But sometimes we would fall asleep. And at 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. she would wake me, not awake herself, but dreaming. Sueños en la siesta, they would hit her like a cyclone across the Midwest of her rib cage and her forehead, and the brazen way she walked would be forgotten. Her lightly parted eyelids, slightly smudged, twitched in rapid eye movement, and to me they turned transparent, moving into the dream state. I could see her pupils grow, and then she wasn't even grown herself. I could read her the way young children looking at pictures in a picture book can memorize the words that go along with them. She conned me like a child, convincing me of its literacy into being her interpreter, her confidant, her codependent, unrepentant life force. She dragged me like quicksilver to quicksand. She made me the eye in the epicenter. The first person to be as close as flesh and blood had been. Flesh and blood now torn and spilled, mended and buried. She told me I felt like family. That even though we burned like a house fire, we also smoldered like helping you fall asleep after crying. The last person who had held her like that was him. Her flesh and blood, her loss and her gain, her pain because she knew it was her fault. Knew she shouldn't have let him walk away from her like that into the night, but she had. The sky barely light. He was only pedestrian. He was only pedantic. He walked onto the pavement. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only one on that corner on that night. He didn't even see the truck coming. The driver was a good man, but he didn't see the dark figure any more than the dark figure saw him, and so tires crashing, hips smashing in ways they were never supposed to as it rolled over 2, 3, 4 times. He never even had a chance against that monstrosity. The luminosity of the other man's eyes, still as fallen snow, was the only thing that bore witness to his death. Saturdays at 11, and in every action was always held a refraction of acts committed previously attended wakes, Sunday morning walks, sidewalks, crosswalks, might as well be execution blocks. Those white lines cry out from her eyes every time she blinks. 2, 3, 4 stripes across black asphalt, stark like starvation on ribs, drowning in silence, like just above the poverty line. Tragedy is not novel anymore. She wears the guilt clause on her sleeve, open close sign in her chest, and I feel him in her every heartbeat. She is both living and death every time she touches me. He speaks every time I feel her breath.